Today, welcome, good afternoon, everybody. It is the 6th of June, 2020, and right now at 2 p.m., I'm going to be talking about the battle of the trading master, the Japanese candlesticks versus volume spread analysis. When I first started way back in 2003, this is the date where I actually started. I'm almost about 17 years, in this business in here, where I was just like an engineer, IT engineer, like many of you, studying Japanese candlestick. That was how I was first exposed to it. But before later on, I met Bill Wong and also Tom Williams, which I always talk about the story. And Tom is the father of volume spread analysis. So it's always been the real blessing for me to meet, someone who invented the volume spread analysis. But then again, Japanese candlestick go back a bit further back. If you look back, I think one of my coaches, Arif, will talk about it, because today we will have two speakers joining me today. Not only myself, we have Zach, which is very popular and one of the high demand in the live FB, and also our coach Arif in here, a newly e-book that he and our team has written out. Very good book, and I'm going to introduce later on. But pretty much on Japanese candlesticks. So it started back way back in the, I think, 12th, 13th century in Japanese among the rice trader. He's going to talk about all this. But what's more important is the lesson learned, right? You can see on the left-hand side, we have all these things that you hear: hammer, inverted hammer, dark cloud cover, and piercing line, right? In VSA, what do we have? We have upthrust, we have sell off, we have spring, we have a bag holding, we have no supply. So some of these are relatively different in nature. I'm going to share with you tonight, so you can see the right hand side and the left hand side, the two differences between. Of course, so how many of you are listening for the first time? If you are listening for the first time, do type 1. I appreciate that. If you're listening for the first time, do type 1. So I do know, you're coming the first time. And also at the same time, do join our Telegram follower. We are, coming up to a 4,000 Telegram holder, where every day, almost every hour, we send you timely insights, training tips, and important update that you should know of and not to be left out. Because we felt that with this market rallying, there is something for everyone. And all the information they're giving to you right at the Telegram is absolutely free. There's no obligation. And also, please join and share that among your friends so they would benefit and perhaps, captured on this nice bull run that we see. A little bit more, I'm going to talk about that too. So thanks a lot. All right, Jackson, do join the Telegram group, because information in here is going to be very helpful. All right, let's move on. Now, also don't forget, some of you are video butt and want to go through everything. All our presentation, including this one itself, is recorded and is up at YouTube at /TradeVSA. So all that, you can always go to our Facebook Martin TF, or also TradeVSA, and get all our videos out there. So it goes by industry, specific sector, and also topic too. I might want to do something next week about the Panjana, which is the one reviewed by Muhyiddin yesterday, a bit on that one, and some of the stocks that we will talk about. Maybe we'll keep that one for next Wednesday. Or my topic for next week, next Wednesday, is going to be either, what to buy. Is it going to be Penta versus Top Club? We will see. Okay, next Wednesday, I'll decide what is going to be popular in there. So make sure you check out and subscribe to our YouTube. Also, not forgetting the CMCOs, all right, will be officially over on the 9th of June after our Monday public holiday. Now, remember, 8th of June, which is this coming Monday, it's a public holiday, no trading. But all of you are very excited to get in, right? After seeing how Dow Jones closed line night, I'm going to have a slide on that one to update you. But no worries. On Tuesday, right, 10:15, I'll be with you on the FCPO. But of course, every 9:30, myself and my trainer, Zach, is with you, right, Monday to Tuesday, and Thursday to Friday. That's Zach's section at 9:30. I'll be handling the Wednesday, more on the market information, things that really were impactful. All right. Hi, Derek. Okay. Well, thank you everybody for our first 10,000 like in FB. We really appreciate. And like it or not, Facebooks are very biased. If we don't continue to get those likes, we're going to be kicked out. So we really appreciate that. All your likes in here, we need to get up into the ladder. Thank you very much. And also, not forgetting, those of you who are listening for the first time, do download our all new KLSC Investing Essential on One apps. It absolutely free. It covers both technical, fundamental, and sentiment combined in there. And we are coming up with videos. If you don't know how to use it, just type FAQ, right? Download the apps from Google or Apple Store, use it, and share. What can I say, right? The more you share, the more credit that you get. Definitely when you log in each month, you'll get 200 credit. Every month you get 200 credit, absolutely free, right? But if you want to use more, you can either top up with a credit card, or better still, share with your friends. If you share with your friend, you get 200 credit and your friend gets it too. So there's lots of benefit. And again, absolutely free. Everything is absolutely free. So this is how, in the function that we work on. All right, let's get started. Of course, we want to build the kind of environment or atmosphere that we have. Why are we talking about Japanese candlestick? Why are we talking about volume spreadness? Why are we talking about Tom Williams? And why are we talking about SMARTRobie? It's because the market is what? Closer look at the market. It's getting really hot. Okay, let's start it. Okay, for number one, we all know last night Dow Jones closed a gain for 829 points after the job report number. You all know what Donald Trump will say this morning, right? He says that, look, our economy, our stock market is going up like a rocket ship, a rocket mode. So that's got everybody very exciting. I'm sure it will get you excited too. No doubt we all agreed that this president is a stupid and a moron. No doubt about it. Everybody talk about it in here. But again, we have to be concerned what is at play, which is the stock market. If you have stocks like I do in US, many of my clients have inside there, and something I want to share with you also on the US stock market, look no further in a couple of slides, I will talk about it in here. But this is very important. Why did the market went up? Definitely the job report review, very important, that 2.5 million jobs were added. Instead, what economists were predicting 8 million jobs were lost. So that's why the market went up, because everyone is sort of saying, hey, this market tak boleh jalan anymore, US market, right? But instead, you got 2.5 million added, not 8 million job added. But of course, overall, we still have about 42 million still out of job. Now, do take note, US population is 320 million. So you can say almost 10% of people is out of job. But that market is moving, right? You're going to find it very interesting. You got 42 million people out of work. What the market is going up? Because news always move ahead of the economy. News, in this case, that drive the stock market. So take note about that one too. Right. Now let's look at the point number two. Very important. Yesterday afternoon, we have our Prime Minister number 8 announced, wow, the fourth goodie, the fourth one, goodie since the COVID is called the Bencana. That's what this is something I want to talk about next week. Bencana Bersama Menjana Economy, which is a $35 billion stimulus, which is almost a 10 billion Sing dollar, or US about 8 million for the latest economy recovery. And there are a couple of sectors already moved. Yesterday, I was looking at this stock, but Jaya Motor, Bernas, they are the one who distribute the Mazda, right? That thing moved 9% on SMARTRobie Premium Alert. Early in the morning, I saw it started to move up, and then it moved up close down. Why is that? Let me just check out with you in here, because of three factors. Very important. If you have time to read the newspaper, let me read it to you. All right. So this is where you got the home ownership. That means property sector will jalan, construction sector will jalan. A lot of goodies or so. So real property gain tax will be one time exemption. Of course, many economists say people know work how to buy property, but there are some people who will still buy property, and there will also be exemption on stamp duty, right? That's what you can see that. And you're going to get subjected to developer discount. So a lot of discount is going, lots of incentive, a lot of stamp duty have been waived, and that is really pushing why we see Echo World moving, Marsing moving, UEM Sunrise moving. So take a look back at those stocks on SMARTRobie. You can see those charts even early on already moved. Not forgetting, we saw yesterday American Airlines went up 41%, ladies and gentlemen, right? That is going to have an impact on Air Asia. And also you also saw Air Asia have a 10% purchase by a Korean conglomerate, and that's going to push up Air Asia share too. So if you want to look at Air Asia, use SMARTRobie trading plan to get in. But not forgetting the last point, which is very important, is about the sales tax exemption for imported cars. So there's going to be exemption in here. So cars is going to be cheap, and maybe those of you who are thinking about getting a car want to, definitely this is a time to get it too. All right, now let's look at the next one. Is the US market. Why we have searched inside there, and you could see the market closed 829 points, and the blowout report which you just shared with you in here. Now right now the market is up almost to 27,000, right? And that's 3% up. So everyone's happy. I'm happy too. Some of the stocks, which I did tell many of the people out there, you just need to hold on a bit. Right? I shared this sometime in March. I'm going to give you that statement too. Right now, I think many of you have seen this before, and I keep flashing it again. Look, technically, our market, looking at the history of the bulls and the bear, we are already in the new bull market, 43%. And many of you continue to be bizarre. Why, Martin? So many jobs are, and the country is going on a recession. Why market is going up? It's bizarre, right? So that is why many of you who are listening for the first time, it's better to know this information, right? Because this information, this insight is going to help to put money into your pocket. Am I correct? That's all we have. On the post-COVID-19, we all know many jobs have been lost, pay been cut. We have to do something. We have to learn new skill. And definitely this skill, these insights that we have for you, totally free of charge, and Robbie free of charge for you, will definitely put you in the right way. And please do share with your friends what I've said in there. All right, there. Okay, now let's look at the history of the US bull and bear market. Very, very important. Now, this is where I want to draw your attention in here. Way back in March, I already said before, they're always bull, they're always bear. And not all bull market is going to go forever, and not all bear market is going to. But what is more important, ladies and gentlemen, the bull market is going to last longer, which you will see here. Let me just draw it here. You can see all the blue one, right? These are all the blue ones. You can see duration, right? This is the month. 50 short one is about 0.7 50. The last one that we had was 2009, way back to 2020. So that is almost 11 years. Okay, then you do your maths, you times 12 months. Okay, right? So finally, always people did ask me last year, end of 2019, this bull market, when is going to come? The ending. I said it shouldn't end if on its natural without the COVID-19, if Donald Trump loses his re-election campaign. But I'll talk about that another time, so make sure you follow me. But very important right now, the bull market has ended 2020. And this COVID-19 was responsible for that one. So we saw the market dip down around 40%. And right now it has recovered, which I just showed you 43%. So why am I so confident? Because the history repeats itself. Now you remember 2003, okay, 2003 and 2009, there were three very similar virus indication. 2009 was the H1N1, okay, H1N1. 2003 was the SARS. Now, from the perspective of the US market, it didn't even affect it. You see 2009 here, right? You see, this was a bull market. SARS 203, not even recorded at all. But from our Asian standpoint, we did have SARS was pretty badly affected. 2009 was more for US market. Okay, US market, that is during Obama's time when they first announced H1 and N1. That is where a lot of what we call US preparedness for the pandemic was highlighted back in 2009. Nothing has been done. So that's why we see this 2020 post-COVID-19, so many people die. I think 1.7, 1.8 million people are affected and cross over 100,000 people die. So situation continue to be bad. You can watch all those at the news. But very importantly, all this has given me let me just erase this off. Very important. You're going to see this point here, right? Let me just, get this. Yeah. Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay. Eraser. Yeah. Okay. Very important. What I've talked about with the knowledge that I have about the history and the bull, I already told everybody in the WhatsApp chat and those who've been following since March 23 that it will have a recovery. It's either we or you. I was thinking more of a U recovery at that time because, market just don't do a we. Unfortunately it did because why? If you look back, all the economic stimulus that the US had put in. And don't forget, our Prime Minister 8 is trying to be a very popular Prime Minister. Now we know through the Perikatan Nasional how they came in. They have 4 rounds of goodie bag. And yesterday, the afternoon, when he released the $335 billion, it's another goodie bag. That's why the market's going up there, right? So all in all, if you look at the time frame, I said starting from July, right, the market should continue to end of the year. But I didn't know it started a bit even earlier, somewhere in May, right? The recovery started and continued to go. I do think there will be some correction along the way. Of course, we hear different type of people saying, they say this is what we call a dead cat bounce. But it's up to you to believe. That's why it's important to what we talk about using Japanese candlestick, using volume spread analysis to tell the market. Because why? Very simple, ladies and gentlemen. Human lies. Do the chart lie? You tell me. Which lie? Human lies or chart lie? Type it in your response. I appreciate that in there. So let's look at it. Now, if you look at it, KLSC, we have 4 major crashes. 4 major ones. The first one, if you look back, was the 2008. That is the one that a lot of people lost a lot of jobs. I've been through that. I went into the market and first started learning about this. I said before, 2003, I went through the 2, and then I went through 4 corrections. Okay, so that tells me at least I'm a bit more experienced than some of you who are listening to this, especially the new ones. Those of you who are listening to the new ones. Okay, so you can see there was 2015 correction. Then we have a 2018 Pakatan and Perikatan issue, which we still think going to continue. Now, you did see last Friday, right? We have the Prime Minister 8 with the Bersatu Supreme Council meeting in Bangsa, right? One of my friends stayed very close by. Were taking some photos in there. And, a lot of people say this political situation, how is it? But one thing has changed the industry. I think I have to thank the rubber glove. The rubber glove, right, has pushed the manufacturing and single-handed one sector, the rubber glove, and the other PPE like the what's that? Apa itu? This Ocean Cash, right? A few of them going into ventilators, not much of the K1, and then these are very small. But the rubber glove industry, the single one, really pushed the market back up. Just like oil and gas came in and supported the market, which is we all know Petronas did push up. The last recovery they have that impact in 2008, right? That you see in this chart here, the recovery. So this short recovery that we have, how high is going to go? Right now we're about 1550. But it's all contributed to rubber glove, because rubber glove, we all know there is still too much demand. The too much demand. The supply is not meeting. I think the numbers, I did talk about it. If you have not watched the rubber glove, top gloves, please go over to YouTube and watch that one, especially those of you who are first thing new in here. Now, because of that, we are seeing the KLSC regional market recovery already, right? And you can see the DAX and the Dows. Right now, Malaysia is 28%. So this is across the border inside there. And strangely enough, I was looking for foreign funds to come back in. If you see last Wednesday, we didn't see any foreign funds coming in there, but yet the market do recover. This is, wide range. Of course, the US did pretty well, 41%. Malaysia is about 28, 31%, depending where you market, right? Shanghai and Hang Seng, we all know. That is why, to me, I believe these are what I call the dark horses. Okay, let me just bring the pen up again. Now, if you have inside, these are the 2 markets I believe is going to move up very, very soon. And they are, right? Currently, it's because very simple. There are 2 issues. One is the delisting of the US-based Chinese company by NASDAQ, which Donald Trump is trying to push in US. So some of these companies are sort of, feeling a bit impacted. And also a lot of the Hang Seng shares and the Shanghai Composite is because of the continued, what we call the Cold War. That's right. Used to be, before that, we call it the US-China trade war, right? Now it's a Cold War. They're trying to do whatever they can to blame everything, especially Donald Trump again, to blame everything on China, right? If he cannot pass his poo-poo, he also blamed China. All right. So it's all about the supply chain, how China fits in. But these 2 sectors, the Hang Seng and the Shanghai, definitely low. So use the use our Hong Kong share screeners that we have inside. Look for a couple of good shares for that one. All right. Now, of course, how do we know our timing? So far, what we have seen so far, it's really using our Pentagon, our proprietary system that we have, which is still patent pending. And if you look back, the market on Friday was just lost 5 points, and it's right now at 1556. So you look back using the red pentagon, you can sell it and you could bought it at the wrong time. Now you don't need to purchase it, just download it from SMARTRobie Google App Stores. You can get this chart right away. Of course, some of you want to have a bit more service, a bit of premium. Do check out our package in here. I will talk a bit about our educational program. Of course, very important now, this is important information, right? Right now, our KLCI is technically out from the bear market into the bull market. No one is talking to you yet. No one is writing this narrative, and no one is writing on the newspaper, but I'm talking about it right now, because when I saw what the market did for the US market and what it is doing for our market, it's very sad. And right now we are at minus 5%. Now it's really sad to see some people sold at the bottom right here. This is the part during the mid-March. I get a lot of WhatsApp SMS and tell me, hey, Martin, the market already 1,100 can go to 900. I say, siao, you where can go so much? Talk about valuation. This is only temporary. You must have a history, and the history I talk about the 2003 SARS and the 2009 H1N1 incident. So that's why I was very confident to project and I sort of tell everybody by July it's all over. Of course, right now it's easy said and done now. So right now people ask me, can we get back in? So based on the facts that I just presented to you, you make a judgment. You let me know. All right, you can WhatsApp and share this information totally free with your friends in your timeline. Really appreciate that. So right now the market is only minus 5% from the old high 2020, right? Okay. Now, how do we do it? How are we able to piece all this information together? Definitely one of the tools that we use are Japanese candlesticks. So this is where I'm going to get my coach Arif. Are you ready to talk about this? And where we use volume spread analysis trading. Now, there are two very famous volume spread analysis trader, and the person that bring me my highlight, you can see my picture here. Okay, this book, right? Insider Trader was a book that really changed my mind, that saw this great potential. How he turned 46,000, you can see that 46,000 to 6.8 million. I think some of you may have heard it before. Now, definitely one of the traders I heard bought Supermax. He turned 50,000 to 2 million, right? So it's possible, but how do we do that, right? Definitely some methods and not by luck. So also in this case, what we're trying to say that Jesse Stein came in at the right place at the right time with the right method. And you all know Supermax, right? Over a period from March right to now has gone up 300 to 400%. Now, if you look back at Penta Masters, which you talk about, that thing took 6 years. 6 to 7 years and went up 7,900%. Now, I'm not sharing with you or giving the idea that you should buy one stock and hold, but it's important to have that education. Now, if you look at this book, this is a real book. You can see I penciled in here, very thick, lots of charts inside here, right? It talks about volume spread analysis, a little bit of Japanese candlestick, but I'm going to introduce my next speaker, Coach Arif. We're going to talk about it, but also take into note how much this book costs. When I bought it, it was not available in Malaysia. I bought it in Singapore, Kinikuya, and the cost here is 108 Sing dollar. 108 Sing dollar. That's close to about 450 ringgit. Now, let me ask you this question. How many people will buy a book for 450 ringgit? I doubt it. For Malaysian context, most people will photocopy. So this is definitely why we at TradeVSA, we invest in knowledge. We present it back to you too. So right, this is very important in here. So this is why we talk about we do what we do best. All right, just going to put it back there so you can take a look at this really nice books here. All right, so right now I'm going to introduce my coach Arif. All right, you ready, Arif? All right, and he also together with our team co-produced a book on futures called the Russia Jutawan Futures. It is an ebook. We're going to be launching it very, very soon, and we spend a lot of time making doing the book out there, so it will be ready for many of our members and some of you who are really want to learn into futures. It is in Bahasa, and Coach Arif is definitely one of our best Bahasa coach, and he's going to be with you right now. All right, Arif. Okay, so I'm just going to pass the floor right now to Arif, and he's going to take you to the difference between the Japanese candlesticks versus volume spread analysis. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Martin. Thank you so much.
I'll stop sharing here, and I'll pass it back to Arif, okay. Arif, okay, now can you share now?
Hi.
Okay,
Share.
okay, right? Can you share now?
Yeah.
Okay, good, Arif. Okay, I'm going to turn off my...
Okay, right. Good afternoon, everyone. Right. Just to do a sound check. Is my sound coming in okay? Okay, all right, good. Right. Just to preempt that there is a construction nearby, so just try to bear with it, yeah, okay. And then just for heads up, like those of you are having for the first time or using the get response, you have this particular screen here, right? Just click on this dot here so that it will be attached to the left side, to your right side, okay. So then without further ado, I'll begin. Okay. Just get my timer. Okay, right. So today we'll be talking about the what you call candlestick or price action versus volume spread analysis or VSA, right? So just introduction about myself. As a young man not too long ago, I had this fascination and curiosity about how the stock market works, you know, because at that time there were some those drama movies from like TVB from Hong Kong. They were talking about like how can you make money, you know, in a very short time frame. So while I was doing my studies in the university, then I did a self-study about how to trade effectively in the market, right? So naturally, I will come across like price action and also indicators like RSI, MACD, chart pattern, and so on. And the main issue that I faced, as were many people back then, was at the time there were no one to guide me, right? So I just like, you know, buta-buta, jump in and jump out. And a lot of times I do make a lot of losses, in fact, and also there are some few winning trades, but the losses were a lot because at that time, not much, I don't have a mentor, as I said, and the knowledge was quite minimal, right? So I did join other programs and so on and so forth. Thus, did make some money out of it, but then I just stopped. And it was not until I met Martin somewhere in 2015 that I discovered he was teaching this VSA method. And I learned from the VSA method is that it's not only good for you to detect a good trade, but also it teaches you also on the psychological part of a trading, which is important, and also the risk management, okay? And from there on, with a guide, of course, from Martin and from other coaches at the time, I was able to make consistent winnings and also minimize my losses, okay? So now, without further ado, I will bring you through a brief journey on the tools used by the masters in their battle with the market. Okay, so first things first, we have this guy here, Munehisha Homma. Okay, this famous guy here who founded the Candlestick bar, right, in the 1700s. Right, he was a rice trader, and during that time, rice trade was still new. I think by the time he entered into the trade, it was already like around 30 or 40 years already, okay? Just for info, Homer, he was born, I think, 10 or 14 years after the, 14 years after the rice trade was established, which is around 1710, right? So at the time when the rice trade was introduced, right, they are using this system, what they call a coupon system, where it's sort of like a promissory delivery to deliver the rice at a future date. Very much like what we have now, like our futures market, where you buy a contract, and in that contract, if you hold, whether long or short, you promise to deliver or to accept delivery of the product or the derivatives in the future timing. Okay. So from this secondary market, the rice market, right? From this secondary market is where emerged Munehisha. He flourished from there, right? So what he would do is, what he do is that he will record every price movement on a paper, and then as soon as he began to see sort of like a pattern and a repetitive signal, then he gives names to that signals to that particular movement. Like we have like those like dojis, like hammer or harami and so on. Okay, and it was said at the time that Homma created an elaborate network of men, okay, his messengers. You know, from Osaka to Sakata, right? The distance is around 600 kilometers, and he created an elaborate network of every 6 kilometers, a messenger will deliver a message of the latest price move of rice, okay, from Osaka to Sakata. And can you imagine that because of his elaborate network and also because of his the system of Candlestick that he created or founded, right? It makes him the richest man in Japan. The system that, interestingly enough, right, the system that Homa created, those networks of men, right, is very similar to we see in the West, I think later on, which is, I think most of you will know the name by the name of Rothschild, right, where during that time Britain was having a war with Napoleon at the Battle of Waterloo, where the Duke of Wellington versus Napoleon was having a war. And if at that time the news in the London Stock Exchange is that the British has lost the war, so the price came tumbling down. But the Rothschild, having a network, they know that, oh, Napoleon has won the war, so eventually they buy everything that people are selling there, and eventually it makes them the richest man in that what we know today. Okay, but okay, moving that aside, coming back to the candlestick. Interestingly, this concept of candlesticks, right, the West does not know about it. Okay, neither do they know about Homa or about the Japanese candlestick until in the 1980s when Steve Nyssen, this guy here, right, Steve Nyssen, introduced and popularized it in the West, right? And from there on, we have what we call the school of price action. It is called price action because at the time when Steve Nyssen introduced it, there was no availability of data, volume data, okay, to release to the public. So it was called at the time as a price action. So as you can see, if you see like those other price actions available, some of the topics or the subjects only covers a little bit on the volume. Okay, so we see the fundamentals of candlestick. Normally what they would use is that, or price action users, what they would use is that they will see on the price spread, okay, and normally on the closing price. Price spread being of how much the price have moved between the high and the low, okay, and in terms of the closing price, whether it is an up bar, meaning the price closed higher, or close up, or is it a down bar, means the price goes closed down. Okay, so what is a candlestick? Is we can see the next chart here. Okay, let me just take my EpiPen. Okay, so we have these two candlesticks, right? One is a white color and one is a black color. So we have here what we call the wick at the top here, right? Or we call it the tail, and we have what we call, in this case, we have like the open here, and we have the close here, right? And here we have the open here and the close at the bottom of it there. Okay. Now, normally for candlesticks, what they show is that they show the market sentiments, right? And so it will show the market sentiments. Normally, it will reflect somewhat like how's the market is. Is it there are people that are greedy? Is it the people that are having a fear, or is it that they're having indecisiveness? So from these candlesticks is where they will see or able to anticipate the market sentiments here. Okay, so what we have is the white color here. So the white color bar normally is to say that the close is higher than the open, and the black color bar here usually to denominate that the close is lower than the open. Okay, just clear this up. Okay, then go next, right? And these are the patterns that we have, right? There are many patterns that we have here for the candlesticks, right? In which we have like the harami or the doji here, or long upper shadow and so on. Okay, so this brings back a bit of memory, because the time when I first started to trade using this price action, sometimes I would see that, okay, let's see like this formation here, we have like the price come down, should have this pattern, and the price go up. But what happens if the price come down, but it's not this bar, it's the other bar, you know, like this one. So should I exit or should I stay, you know? So that's where I have the difficulty when I follow the price action format. So sometimes when I try to follow what they say here, and then, oh, it's the other way around. Okay, so end up you get kicked out by the market, right? So this is the candlestick formation. And as we can see here, the price action in Forex. This is normally a favorite among those who are trading forex, right? So normally they will have like the support and resistance. Okay, they will draw a line here. This is the resistance. They become a support. Then they have like the downtrend line here. Okay, price starts to move up from the downtrend, starts to move up. Then after that, when they see the two low points here, then that's where they will make the line. Okay, so this is how the price action users will use in the forex trading. Okay, most of the forex counters that we have here globally, I would say around 99% is not the correct one, meaning to say that they are not the authorized to trade for forex. Okay, the one that I know forex normally is those under CME. They have price and they have some volume there. Okay, but the one that we see, or those on the free platform, normally they will just show you this price for you to trade on. Okay, and most of the time they will have like a setting where they will try to kick you out from the market from there. Okay, so out of 100 people who trade forex, probably 1 or 2 will succeed. Okay, especially if we talk about those price action. Okay, so next we have another one, which is price action in stocks. Okay, for those who are trading stocks using price action without any volume, as you can see, there's no volume here. Then they will try to draw also the support and resistance. Okay, this is where the support is, then become resistance, then become a resistance and support. Then they have also like, okay, this is on the downtrend. It go up from the downtrend and starts to move up. So they will draw another trend line to see the price starts to move up. Okay, so this is how the price action will look at. They don't see anything. They will just see based on what is happening now and probably like a couple of bars before that, right, for them to decide on the next move. Normally you just draw the trend line, the support, resistance, the trend line is up or down, right? Okay, so which brings us to next is volume spread analysis. Okay, so what is VSA? Right. So VSA is founded in the early 1900s by Richard D. Wyckoff. Okay, he was a trader and educator in the stocks, commodities, and bonds market. And at that time, the method that it was known as the Wyckoff method. Right. So this guy here, right, this is Richard D. Wyckoff. Right. So Wyckoff method is, what he does is that Wyckoff observed that there is a repeat of a pattern through a series of market stages that is controlled by a hidden hand called the composite man or the composite operator. Now, who is this composite man or composite operator? This Wyckoff envisioned that this composite man is the person, is a sort of like a figure who controls the market. All right, and normally this composite man will dictate the market whether to go up or to go down. Okay, so that's what we come to at this point of time. We call them smart money, but those at that time, during Wyckoff time, it was called as a composite operator. All right, so Wyckoff aim is to reveal the composite man motive and his next move through recognizing the bar chart patterns, which provides some insights as to how and why the professional players, which is smart money, are interested in buying and selling a particular stock. Okay, so Wyckoff also emphasized that it is very, very important psychologically and tactically to follow the footsteps of the composite operator in order to grow your portfolio. So which meaning to say that this is Wyckoff's interpretation, but in our interpretation as VSA now, what it means is that you follow the trend. You do not trade against the trend, right? If the trend is deciding to go up, it's on the uptrend, you do not want to go against the trend. You do not counter the trend. Okay, if the trend goes down, then you want to go for short. If it goes up, you want to go for long, right? Because if you go against the trend, it's like analogy that you can put that is like you are standing in front of an incoming train that is going at 100 miles per hour. Okay, definitely you can't stop the train, you get hit by the train, right? That's the analogy. Another analogy would be that if the market falls down, right, it's like somebody dropped a knife from the 10th floor and the knife coming down. You do not want to bring your hand out just to stop the knife, you know. It's like to counter against it, because you do not, we are just a small retailer as compared to the smart money. Okay, so that's what Wyckoff means, is that you trade according to the trend, right? You follow the trend, right? So his method, right, Wyckoff method is widely used by other traders, and some of them even refine his methods, okay? And among them who follow his methods is like Philip Friston, William O'Neill, Dan Zanger, Ray Dalio, and David Weiss, and also Tom Williams, okay? And this is guy here, as we can see this picture here, is Tom Williams, right? Now, Tom Williams, he discovered the Wyckoff method by accident, right? He first started, how he discovered is actually that he's actually a private male nurse, okay, attending to one patient in America. And this patient of his so happened to be one of the members of a large syndicate, right, in the US. So after a while, Tom gained the trust of his patients, and what his patients do is that they get the data and they just pass to, he get Tom to draw the charts, okay? At that time, they do not have any chart charting program as what we have now, right? So at that time, whatever the price is they have, they will draw it out, and throughout that process, Tom discovered that, hey, there is a sort of like a pattern, okay? And if you connect it to volume, then we were able to make a more better trade. So the syndicate sent him to study the Wyckoff method in one of the Wyckoff Academy, and from there, together with his experience, he created what is called now as volume spread analysis, right? So VSA, what does it do? So the VSA is to seek to establish the cause of price movement, and from the cause, predict the future direction of the prices, okay? And one way to seek the one way for a person to seek the price movement, okay, or the cause of the price movement, is by seeking the footprints left by this smart money in the market in the form of volume data, right? And on this basis, VSA provides an edge, which enables you to time your entries and exits earlier, right? And among Tom Williams' students includes Earl Erner, which Martin did chat earlier. He participated this one, I think, forex or commodities trades, and he won like 64% within just 1 month or less. Okay, and also we have like Tim Raymond, and of course our Sifu Martin Wong, who learned directly from Tom Williams. Okay, so next is the fundamentals for VSA. Okay, so these fundamentals, what they use, okay, for a VSA user, what they use is the sign of strength, which is SOS, and of course the sign of weakness, which is SOW. And the signs normally that we use commonly will be like the test and the spring. Okay, for sign of weakness, you will see mostly on upthrust and sell-off. Okay, this what we have here, you see in this chart, is the program that we put into the computer so that it will auto-generate from there, and it will enable us to see and make a better judgment easily. Okay. This is the evolution of volume spread analysis, right? As we can see here, this is where Wyckoff started. Now, we have to bear in mind that during Wyckoff time, there were no charts. So how do they do it? They base on the ticker. There's one ticker. You know, there's one machine like that. It will come out one long, thin strips of paper, right? And this is what we call a ticker. It will coming out like then the paper will come out. And it will come out all like this stock, what is the price now, and this stock, what is the price now, okay? So Wyckoff will base on the closing price, and you will have these schematic charts came out, okay? Remember, volume was not available back then, right? So it based on this movement of the prices, okay? And this is where he sees that there is a repetitive pattern, okay, from stocks or in futures. On the right side here is point and figure chart. Very, very complex, but very, very accurate. The only issue is that because it's so complex that even I myself try to learn from it, but it's just that after I read the first pages, I don't understand how to, you know, apply this point and figure. Because one thing is that they do not have any time frame. Okay, they are not bound by the time. They just based on the price movement. That's point and figure. All right. But in terms of the return, they are able to calculate what's the risk to reward, and they'll be able to predict where will be the next price movement is. Okay, but not many people using this point and figure chart. Okay. Then the next we have is it evolved to high, low, and close. You will know as OHLC, but in here is the this one bar here, and we have, let's say, something like this. So they have the high here, the low here, and the close here. Okay, and this is what Tom Williams used. Okay, the high HLC bar, the price bar is HLC, and based on the volumes here. Okay, and from here only we came to the candlesticks together with volume. Okay, bear in mind that during the time and Tom's time, there was not much of he wasn't introduced to the candlesticks pattern yet. Okay, so it based on this, and volume only came in later on after that. Okay, later on after that. So this is where the chart that we see commonly nowadays, right? The candlesticks here, right? The price movement and the volume at the bottom here. Okay. So now we will do some case study, okay, just to see the comparison between a VSA and also on the price action, right? So the first case study we go is on FCPO. Okay, we see there's the same chart here on your left and on your right. Okay, this one on the right here is mainly used by the price action, those from the price action school of thought, and on the left here is those who use the volume and price. Okay, so notice on the left here, okay, we see that there is a price moving down, and we see this one climatic volume here. Okay, very high volume here, right? And then at the same time, we see the price here, it has a wide spread here, and with a wide body as well. Okay, so it tells me what? It tells me that the price has been coming down a bit, and at this point here, the market is being supported, right? Because of the volume, very, very high volume. You see, the volume is increasing. Okay, and we have one climatic volume here. And on the next bar, as we see, the price, the body spread is very narrow. Okay, the spread is very small, and the volume is very low. So for those who are a bit earlier or a bit on the expert side, they may enter here, and some maybe they wait for confirmation of this bar here. Okay, majority will wait for confirmation that this bar closes higher than this bar, then they will enter based on this bar here, and will ride the trend. Okay, whereas for for price action, it's a bit difficult to see where is the stopping side there, because you do not see any volume, right? So what they will do, probably they will just draw like a downtrend here. Okay, so the price is moving on the downtrend, then suddenly it comes up here, try to break the trend, then they wait for the price to already break the trend and wait for confirmation at this bar here. So this bar closes higher. This is where at this bar or at this bar they will make the entry. Okay, so the difference between here, the price action will enter around here, and for those from volume spread, maybe they will enter somewhere around here. So we have like around like 20 points or 10 points, sorry, around 10 points of a price difference there. Okay, so of course both will ride the trend, but in terms of the entry, those who are using the VSA will have like upper hand a bit. Okay, so next we will see another case study, which is stocks. So for stocks here, what we will see on the left side, okay, is we have an uptrust with a very high volume here, right? Uptrust with a very high volume. Next bar closes higher, okay, but a very low volume. And then we have another bar here, okay, high volume. It goes above the UT, but it came down and closed low. Okay, so normally for a VSA user, what they will see is that this is a signal, which means that the smart money has no interest to push the price higher. Okay, yes, we see based on the background is that the price has moved up quite for some time already. Okay, from let's say around 27 cents here, now it's around like 50 cents around here. Okay, or 55 cents around here. Right, so it's around like double, 30 cents has moved up already. Okay, and because of that, this is one signal. So they would. We as a VSA trader, we will take note of it, right? Then couple of bars later, we see another price tries to go up, but you see at this part here, it closes almost the same as the high of this bar here. Another UT, another high volume, and the next bar we see it closes a bit lower. So what it means is that for VSA traders, they will see these signs. If those in the money, they will just exit first, you know, and wait for the next opportunity, right? For those who are about to enter the market, they will see this sign. Probably they will not enter first, but continue to observe the market. Probably the market will move sideways before it goes up. Okay, sideways before it moves up, or it can come down lower, right? For price action, normally what they will do is they will see that this is a trend line to go up, right? Until here, what they will see is like a tweezer formation, because two lines touching together. They have what they call tweezer. Tweezer is something like this, right? The two lines like a chopstick, or it's like the same. Okay, same level here. Okay, or it can be in a small body. Okay, and from there, normally for here it will be a reversal. It can be for a short trend, or short term or long term as well. Okay? Let's say they take this as a tweezer, and they will exit when it's already go down below here, and this will be their entry point here, the confirmation for entry, right? Because sometimes they will enter a bit here. I mean, the price will go a bit lower than here, but it could be that the price move up after that. They just wait for confirmation. Price action always will wait for confirmation based on the price movement. So let's say they were to short here, then there will be another spring here. Maybe they'll gonna slap for newbie. For advanced, they will see that there is a 20 MA here. You know, they will wait for it to bounce. Then maybe here they will go after that and come down here. Okay, but for VSA users, we will see that this is good enough a sign already. Then we wait for the price to move sideways or to dictate, or we see more sign of strength before we make an entry to go for long. Okay. Another one is, okay, let me clear this. Okay, this is another one, which is a stock as well. Okay, this one showcase on the NS, right? Now for NS, what we see, I think most of our member participants here, I think all of you are majorities our members. You will know about NS already. Okay, so when we see an NS, all right, we see there's a low volume here, and then there's a high bar here with increased volume, and this bar here. When we see the volume is low, that is where we make an entry either here or the next bar here. Okay, and we see based on the chart background, we are like on a moving sideways, so this will be a good entry point there, and we know where is our support line is. Okay. For price action, it will be a bit difficult for them to see because there's no volume there, right? So they're based on price action. So what they will normally do is they will wait for the price to break this resistance. Okay, but they don't really enter here. They wait for a pullback or the price to hover around this near the support, near the resistance and support. And that's where they make the entry around here. But by the time they make the entry, probably here the price go up. Yes, they do make profit a bit, but as compared to like VSA, we have the edge where, you know, we see that this is the price moving up, and this is around, depending on where you enter, between 10 to 12% for volume spread analysis user. Okay. For the price action, they will wait probably for a reversal. Okay, so now the common tools or methods shared between the price action and the VSA. All right, as you can see repetitively, I've shown you based on the case study. I've drawn like the support and resistance. Now, both of these VSA and Candlestick users agree that the tools such as the support and resistance, okay, trend line, and moving averages. Of course, VSA we use moving averages. For those under Forex, normally they will use EMA, exponential moving averages. All right, just a bit of a difference in the movement, but otherwise it's still the same. It's still a moving average, right? And these three tools that both schools use, right, enhance their trading and make their trades better, right? In other words, it gives them a better edge, right? They also make the entry upon confirmation. Only difference is that for VSA we have volume, so gives us an edge of entering a bit earlier and exiting also early, right? And of course, in my opinion, both price action and VSA users have an edge, right, depending on the types of market that they want to trade in. So for example, like in terms of Forex traders, right, what they will do is that because there's no volume, right, so what they will do is that they will use probably maybe the nearest for VSA they want to use is the tick volume. Tick volume means that the number of transactions made, okay, in any given time frame. We will not know how many volume per tick, per trade, per transaction, but we only know that this one in and out. That's a tick volume, okay? So traders who are in the Forex background would normally trade on other financial markets without referring to any volume, which is something like cryptocurrencies or maybe like in futures market, right? For VSA traders, the use of price and volume adds a great advantage as they make better entry and exit, as I explained earlier, right? Because they're able to see the relations between the price and the volume compared to the previous pricing. We can see the market stages, all right? And yeah, because of that, we're able to trade in areas where they have volume, okay? So coming to my last conclusion is, which is better, the candlesticks or is it volume spread analysis or VSA, all right? I believe that Martin may have may have a say on this, okay? So Martin, over to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Arif. So I'm just going to wrap up the difference between those two after Arif stopped his sharing of his screen, and I'm going to start mine. All right. So don't go yet. We still got that one more speaker. Now, can you see me? Okay, I'm just going to bring it up to this here. All right. So we hear just now Arif, one of our co-authors for Russia Jutawan Futures, which is his specialty, talks about that one. And what I'm going to do is, again, going back to my association, some of you may have seen this before with Tom Williams, and how I understudy together with Bill Womack, which really introduced me, say, hey, go and learn from this guy, Tom Williams association with the Toms and also Gavin at that time. And there's a couple of things I want to share with you today, which is the summary between all of them, which I'm going to write down here. My sound is okay, right? Just want to check, is the sound okay? Do let me know. And let me just see first. So I just want to make sure the sound is okay. Yeah, okay, good. So the sound is okay. So number one, I think one of the greatest summary is that let me just write it here. The Japanese, okay, you can write this down, or when I finish with it, you can take a photo, which is very good. The Japanese candlesticks, I'm just going to put candlestick, CS, it's very popular, okay? Very popular because of the ease of use, ease of use. Right, and everybody uses it. Everybody uses it. Okay, use it. So you don't really need to attend any class at all. There are some on YouTube. Even in part of our masterclass, we do share some of this in here. And it's widely practiced too. Everybody uses it. But VSA, okay, is closely guarded. Okay, by the price and volume practitioner. So a lot of them, it's not easy to teach actually. It took me a couple of years to learn, but today, right, and it is made popular, okay, by our community, okay, by our TradeVSA community, okay. And one of the things we try to go out, and what Tom told me, go back to your east and teach the people out there, right? So this is one. Now, point number two is where the key volume, right, was the secret. Okay, volume was the secret. And you know that Ari keep highlighting. Now, in the 1980s, okay, this is where Tom told me, okay, volume, right, is not available, okay, until next day. Okay, not available until later, okay? So also at the same time, if you notice, Steve Nyson, when he wrote that book, was around, when he first started learning was 1987. And the book where he published, the one that Arif talked about, was 1991. So it was at the same time in the 80s where really talk about volume, was hidden, was a hidden agenda, right? So that is why a lot of the popular things that we do in this point number 1 here, right, where we don't see volume. Now, I've just shared with you the case study between the volume and non-volume. We all know that. So that's why it's important when you go out and study any method, just like some of the big guys who want, like, remember this fella? Right? Jesse Stein, how he made the 46,000 to 6 million. He uses volume, right? Right. That's very important too. And I also have another book here, right? This is from Flip Preston, one of the trade guider group inside there, one of the fund managers. He's about my journey of discovery into the volume spread. Now, again, many colors in the 600 over pages in here. This book itself is about another 500 ringgit, which I got it off also from US. So we actually understudy a lot of these so-called seafood. And let me just put it back here, so then you can see, why we study what we do. All right. So that sort of make things very. Okay, let's go to the third point. Now, third point is that there are fewer patterns. Okay, what we call SOS and SOW in VSA. Whereas in the Japanese candlestick, I call it a JCS. Japanese candlestick, you have a lot of patterns, and most importantly is backtesting. Okay, backtesting in there. It's no one actually go out and backtest this pattern. How successful we don't. So in TradeVSA, and later on when my next speaker Zach is going to show you one of the most powerful, very, very high success rate is sign of strength called no supply. And he's going to share with you the next thing we're going to talk about here. All right. So these are few. And the last but not least is that what we do is we trade VSA, right? And we have let me just go back to this one. Okay, we have computerized it. Okay, we have computerized it. Pretty much what Tom did, okay, in his early on, computerized it into the trading view. Okay, and also the SMARTRobie, and that was the Pentagon Guider. Okay, the Pentagon Guider, you make it easier, okay, for the first timer, right, where they are trading like an expert, just like Erlanger, just like this guy Jesse Stein you seen behind, how he made 46,000 to what was it, 6.8 million, right? How is that possible? He took a big risk, but he also had the right method. So it's very important. So what we're going to do is that I'm going to introduce our next speaker. Zach, you ready, Zach? Right, and Zach is one of our very high demand, live popular trainer, and he has spoken in almost 1,000 plus videos since he started in this career, and he's with you almost every night, 9:30 inside there. So I'm just going to pass you to Zach. Zach, you gonna ready? And he's going to share with you not so many, just one very powerful pattern, okay, which is the no supply. And those of you who are listening for the first time, this is real insights into it. And those of you who are listening for the second time, maybe this is a good refresher. All right, Zach, I'll pass it to you, Zach. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Martin. So, well, hello everyone. This is Zach here. So, thanks to Martin and Alif earlier on for sharing the sessions. And I think that just my personal experience, okay, against like I share always in our live Facebook. Most of the technique, you have to find your own way to profit and make monies, right? Doesn't mean that let me share my screen first. Doesn't mean that the Japanese candlestick doesn't work, but just that for me is that sometimes is that by adding volumes, right, by adding volumes into my charts, okay, actually it helped me better somehow, okay? So but we just, I think the slide that I'm going to share later, I think mostly some of you have seen before. But if you got any questions, okay, especially like members over here, please let me know. Okay, so again, today I'm going to share this again. This is usually how you can get things. Okay, by looking at the volume itself, you will know that okay, where is the potentially areas that you can look for entry, okay, for most of the time. So today I'm going to share this pretty quick one. Let me bring my pen out first. Now, just want to do a quick share and background on myself. Previously, when I just started, of course, before I met with my sifu here, Martin, right? I was actually studying a lot for candlesticks, and candlestick is one of them. So, among all the indicators, so-called indicators, right? Actually, Japan candlestick is the one that I'm really, really interested, okay, to go into deeper actually. But one of the problems that I have with Japan candlestick is that each time when I want to, I have to memorize it, okay. It's a bit difficult for me to understand why, like for example, some of the candles, like shooting star, hammer, why sometimes it goes up, why sometimes it goes down, right? Until I came across there's one book, I think it's Tom Williams, Master the Markets, if I'm mistaken. Then from there, actually, it explained the volume, okay, by looking into the bar, okay, and then you look into the volume. So I think like spring is hammer, okay, and then uptrust is shooting star. Then we look into volume to understand it better. So from there, I developed again. I study into deeper, okay, into volume spread analysis. Then after that, I was lucky to meet up with Martin, okay, I think it's like 5-6 years ago, and then from there, I increased, okay, or I enhanced further on my skill on volume spread analysis, okay. So this is what my challenge is like when I started to learn about Japanese candlestick, okay, is that sometimes I have to memorize it, okay. Not because I'm a bit slow or what, but definitely I think if you look into volume, okay, somehow actually it really, really helps you a lot. Okay, hopefully some of you here that follow me in live Facebook members will agree with me. Okay, now let's go through this. Okay, pretty straightforward ones. One of the signals that I like recently because it actually really works. Okay, it actually really works in the markets. So this is so-called the no supply. Okay, and actually this is a variation of test. If members, you know what a test means. Okay, and it actually this signal is actually we need it when the volume is very, very low. Okay, so for the first time who is here listening to this webinar or live Facebook, no supply technical means that smart money, okay, are going back to support and they are tested whether there's any potential sellers or not. Okay, so by looking into volume itself, okay, we're able to know that, okay, actually is the seller has been dry up or not, and or is the smart money are ready to mark up higher or not. Okay, so now come back to no supply. Okay, again, no supply simply means that there's no sellers, okay, or sellers has been removed from the markets. Okay, so no supply usually appear near support. Okay, this is what I like about when you're able, okay, to read correctly, okay, the VSA signals volumes. Okay, you actually can buy at a pretty good price for yourself. Okay, now smart money operator attempt to mark the price lower. Okay, of course sometimes they will try to shake you off first, scare you off first before they make a big break. Okay, I think recently that I really gonna watch it, okay, is revenue. Okay, I was like, okay, I was surprised that yesterday after the announcement shoot up. Okay, but there's a big wash. Okay, there's a big wash, but anyway, it's okay. Like I say, sometimes I take a small losses. I'm okay with losses, but if let's say there is a wash by the markets, okay, or maybe by the smart money, that means that smart money interested and they are really continue to break up higher. So take note on, is there any sound of strength so you can move for revenue. Okay, so let me show you a quick few example over here. Okay, so this is a quick conceptual maps on how usually NS works. Okay, of course markets moves moving sideways. I'm gonna show you some real charts which I just want you all to get an idea first. Okay, how actually NS appear and where you can spot NS, okay, most of the time. So if most of the time when market is moving sideways, okay, in accumulation or in reaccumulations, this is where we can spot NS easily. Okay, we will know that we often will see one bar, okay, with the candle is like very narrow, okay, very narrow, the body, everything is like very narrow, and it comes with low volume. Again, we focus on volume. If let's say it narrow come with high volume, sometimes it doesn't show any means for me because it representing there is sellers potential is still there and smart money to absorb. Okay, so which means that smart money is not ready to break up because of the volume, right? So let's say the volume is getting lesser or very, very low, and the next day it close up high with pretty good volume trying the resistance, which means that the removal of the weekend holder is done. Okay, sellers have been removed from the markets, and then they are now ready trying to break up higher, right? So pretty straightforward, right? Again, we put volumes into a candlestick. Again, I don't know what is the name, okay, for Japanese candlestick for no supply, but in VSA, in terms of VSA, we always focus on the low volume narrow spread. So okay, now this is the overall market structures, or sometimes I'm referring to market's background or market stages. So we will always focus on market stages first, okay, before we want to spot the sound strength, sound weakness. Okay, of course, if you read into all these one spread analysis books, right, they always focus on market stages first. This is what I like about this. Okay, when you focus market stages, most of the time you are riding with the smart money. Okay, so of course in Malaysia's now, right, in KIC's now, mostly I think it's already here. Only few sectors is still here. Automobile, okay, just break up, since Wednesday. Okay, I think Wednesday I do posted to members group UMW, right? UMW after a long period of accumulations finally it breaks up. And if you look into this accumulation, UMW actually got an NS. Okay, I think some member missed okay, some member text me say, hey, I have missed the trade. Some member text me say, hey, I got in the trade but I exit too early. Okay, but never mind, I think still got room to go. Now, if you look into like plantation, I think oil and gas, okay, constructions, they are still around here. But if you look into like tech stocks, I think tech stocks, plastic, okay, plastics, didn't really follow plastics for quite some time. Let me bank counters, okay, they actually started to move up in the markup stage, okay. So of course, my favorite is always coming from the accumulation, because there's where I can get the biggest gain, okay, because once breakout, I'm able to enjoy 23% most of the time. All right, but anyway, I think if you, let's say, focus on the stocks still in accumulation, like the few sectors that I mentioned, I think you still can able to spot this few groups. Of course, the recent trades that we take personally together with our members, because some of you might ask me, okay, Zach, how should I get low risk trades, high reward thingies? Okay, against we look into NS. Okay, make sure my trend is correct. This is where that I use my green pendulum comes up to ensure that okay, I'm trading at the right stages. Okay, I trade in the right stages. Okay, so for those that already know the rules, okay, for NS trades is always that if it closed below the NS, we cut the losses. Okay, we cut the losses. So in this case, this is a trade that I took. I risking 10%, but able to get around 29%. Okay, so from here, NS build support. You can see smart money are trying to test it around time before it goes up. Okay, so let's say NS is the areas that volumes already dries up. If you notice over here, probably let me draw again. Volumes already dries up. Okay, this tells you that in this current situations, no sellers and smart money are ready to test the resistance or maybe break up above the resistance. Okay, so sometimes if you trade something like below 20 cents counter, you can get 20% kind of easy. Okay, but of course now most of the stocks, like I said, tech, all these stocks is trading up higher. So don't worry, because you still can look into hourly charts. Okay, so next one. Okay, probably later I'll show you one real chart. This is some of the example that I take previously. Just a simple case study. So here against NS, first one, second, and third. Okay, so this tells that this is the area that smart money will step in and buy everything. Okay, and the NS actually informing you. You can notice here, this is the NS come with the lowest volume among all the NS. Okay, so again, by looking at this volume itself, this tells me that this is the areas that sellers, okay, or sometimes I can say the weekend holders has totally been dries up. Okay, now this is the first time that smart money test, but volume is low, but it's still there. Okay, second time, right? Yes, lower, getting lower, the volume is getting lower, seller is getting lesser. Okay, but seems like they still need some time. But this is the time that it tells that okay, sellers has really getting low. Okay, totals has been removed, and we are ready to break this price. Okay, you get what I mean? So if let's say you get what I mean, please type 1. Okay, I don't see any response. Sometimes I'll be scared, right? Okay, so especially members, type 1 if you're okay with all these sessions. Okay, if not, please ask me some questions, okay? I'll try to help you out from here. So again, accumulation, this is advanced conspiracy. NS in accumulation, NS is accumulation, NS accumulations, okay? You can see volumes like really dries up. Okay, use your trading view chart, and you probably want to zoom in again to study correctly on the volumes, okay? So when there's low volume, narrow spread, NS confirmation on next day, usually there's no problems, okay? You want to take probably on an M20% from the trades, okay? And you are just risking 4%. Sometimes you, let's say, lucky, able to get this kind of trades, right? Like for example, NS, you buy. Usually, I like to wait for the next day pullbacks. I can enjoy a low risk, okay, there, but I can enjoy a bigger gains. Okay. Can we still enter at NS? Of course, you can still enter at NS, Mr. Hari. So if you again, but because Mr. Hari is a new member, so I have to make it clear. If you Rush also, because Rush is also new members, so if you want to trade NS, okay, especially for new members, make sure your background, okay, must come with green pentagons, okay. Don't worry, later on I go through some NS screeners, and then we go through together, okay, how we should select stock. But for Monday, if I got time, for Monday member trainings, if I got time, I'm going to show you as well how I usually pick stocks, okay, probably from Robby Premier Alerts, probably from daily screens, okay. So like I said, your questions, please ask me, okay. So this is one that one of the best ones so far for this year, 115%, okay, just within a week, okay. This is FGB. Daily chart, sideways accumulations, line change, and then we have NS, subsequently continuations in the markup stage, okay. Of course, we traded the C96. I think some members following us also get almost 100% too, okay. Straightforward one. So again, by looking at this, why we decided to enter? Because of the volume, okay, because of the volume. Now let me show you this, okay. Let me show you this. Okay, now I go into real example, so always go into the side volumes, right? So we look into a real example right here, right? So again, this is a pretty good case study, UMW, okay. So hopefully some members still have it, so if not, it's okay. I think moving forward we still got so here accumulations come with NS, okay, and followed by lots of test bar, okay. So again, this tells you that this is a pretty good level, okay, but just that sometimes they need time to do accumulation before they breaks up. Now imagine this, okay. Again, I'm not very good in of course, like 7-8 years ago, after I read Tom Leon's book, after I met up with Martin's, I totally didn't really study candlestick, so I'm kind of weak in candlestick, Japanese candlestick as well, okay. So now if I switch this off, or okay, I think the most important one is volume, right? So if I switch my volumes off, now it's a bit difficult for me to tell that, you know, when is the change in trend, okay, where is the areas that should I look for? Like for example over here, while it downtrend, okay, it goes up, but I don't know whether at this particular points, okay, let's say I hide this off, whether this one will continue to move sideways, whether it will goes up or whether it will goes down, okay, because I didn't study the volumes, right? But what if I add volumes back to this chart, okay, and I do see, okay, there's an increasing volume, okay. So again, for those that who following us in live Facebook, I always say that high volume change the direction, high volume change the trend. This is what I mean. So once I see this, I feel pretty confident. That's why back in March or during April's time, I already informed those members who like keep for long term, okay, keep for long term. You try to look into UMW because UMW come with very nice volume, change in trend, doing accumulations, and they are ready to mark up soon. Okay, so it took how many months? Almost like 2 months, okay, and then it breaks up. Okay, so now this is the one, okay, it comes with our NS screener, and probably I would like to show you this as well. Okay, front pack, okay, going up in a very nice markup stage, right? Sometimes on this type of markup stage, I think some member asked me too, right? Hey, Zach, which is the area that I should buy with come with low risk, okay? So this is where there's sometimes pullbacks with NS will help you out. Now again, if let's say for example, right, I hide the volumes off, okay, I just hide the volume, and of course, I don't know, okay, I cannot see is this a confirmations of is this a confirmation of pullbacks, or will this continue to mark lower at this particular point, Or maybe here got some uptrust. I don't know whether you mark lowers or not. Here got uptrust. I don't know whether you can mark lowers or not. Okay, but if let's say I need more clues, okay, whether is this a temporary retracement or is it a temporary someone's taking profits for short terms, then I can add some volume to read better, right? For example, over here, okay, green bars. Okay, probably I might as well. Now, to be frank, for myself, I need to rely on SOS or WL also, okay, sometimes. So, okay, now here, line change high volume, drop with low volume, okay, so subsequently it form NS. So this tells me again what? Down bar less sellers, okay, down bar less sellers. And this tells me that smart money are still in control, okay, still in control, okay. Now, this is the latest one that it actually caught my attention to, because since I missed this really, okay, because I've been holding other counters, then I look back into form and say, okay, this guy's still moving in a very nice trend. But look at this, right? This is the line change, okay, drop with low volume and inform NS again. So which means that it tells me that there is still chance for farm pack to continue to break up higher. And if you look into here, this one and this one, okay, actually this is pretty similar with here, okay, just that this areas it needs like 5 to 6 bars to complete. This need 4 bars to complete. But if you look into the setup, the line change high volumes, NS setups, low volume, technically is the same. Okay, technically is the same. Okay, so for members that just joined us, of course, for those who didn't get access to this NS signals or screener, this is a trick that you can use sometimes. Okay, if you are practicing candlestick, try to put volume. I think it will help you further. Okay, but if members you got this screener, please use it. Okay, I find it past few months I've been focusing a lot on NS and actually give me a pretty good return. Okay, so continue to focus that, but new members always remember that try to trade only with the green pentagon. Okay, so let's try whether we can still spot any. I think B plan. Okay, so anyway, plantation got good news right after the announcement, but the price didn't really break above. But I think the price is factors in. Just that next week we might move sideways for a while before we continue. So over here we have NS. Okay, you can see very, very low volumes. So now it seems like still forming some sideways, okay, before they continue to break up. So again, how do you check whether you are in the right trend or not? Please members add in your Pentagon's signals. Okay, so here it shows that okay, it's still in the bullish trend. All right. Hopefully I didn't go too fast. If you got questions, please let me know. Okay. And because I just need to check my Facebook and my webinar. Okay, I need to check both areas. Okay. What else do we have from here? Things like M Siemens. Okay. For those that again would like to trade something like above 1 ringgit or 2 ringgit counters, if you don't like to trade something that below 1 ringgit counters, you can look at this. This is very nice, right? In a very nice trend. I have green pentagons with me. A very nice trend. This is the areas that tells us that okay, the temporary retracement is done. We're going to continue to mark up. So here again, another one. Immediately form a very nice strong support. Okay, you can see volume is getting lower. So again, let me ask you this, right? Now just now in the beginning I said that high volume change trend, high volume change the directions. Okay, so if you didn't look at these volumes, okay, I mean percent for myself. If I didn't notice the volumes, right, maybe somewhere around here, okay, I got no confidence, okay, to go into the trade, because I don't know whether it's a smart money are genuine to push a price up, or maybe it's just an inverse pullback, just to trap you further and then continue the downtrend. So if you added these volumes already, okay, look at this volume. This is a big volume. This tells you that smart money is there. Okay, just the problem is that are you able to spot the next low risk entry on? Okay, so that's where that I always choose my NS to help me out. Okay, so well, markup stage, a lot of stocks, like I said, is already markup stage, so make sure you use that. Okay, I think I got some questions. You asked, is the NS signal pops up on the daily itself or after green candles with high volume completes? It will pop up itself, okay, before the red pentagons, before the green pentagons will pop itself also, okay. But for new members, like I said, because in order to trade in red pentagons background, I think you need to at least practice some for a few months first, or maybe attend the masterclass. For new members that join us, always combine it with the green pentagons. Okay, So Mr. Hari asked, how about stop loss for NS? Okay, Mr. Hari, you haven't really watched the tutorial yet, huh? So for new members, please watch the tutorial that I sent to you to WhatsApp. The full tutorial around 5-6 hours is the boring stuff, but I actually cover lots of trading strategies inside. Okay, so for NS, close below NS, you cut. Okay, that's where I can get my low risk trade, like for example, AdvanceCon, Amulets. Okay, all these stocks are done here, right? Close below NS, 5-6%, I quit. Okay, if let's say it break 20%, I take. Okay, can VSA use to trade? No, for now we only focus futures and stocks. Okay, let me check from get response. Is there any questions or not? If not, probably I'll pass back to Martin. Okay, so okay, any other questions so far regarding these NS trades? Okay, I think it's kind of straightforward. For those that who haven't really practiced volume, try to add it as one of it, because I think volume is the one that really show is there any intention of by smart money. Is there any, are they currently in this current moment is the buy in control or selling in control? Okay, just use a simple way, okay, to read market to give you slightly advantage. Okay, any questions so far? If not, I'll probably pass back to Martin. Okay, Martin, I'll pass back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Zach. Thank you. Now, you have seen the power of NS and how some of our members are able to take profit of it, especially this bucket in here and some of the literature that we have. Please ask us very tough questions. I think that's the only way we can improve ourselves. Sometimes people come back and ask me what's the macroeconomics going to happen, and what I do, I go and search for answers. We have a whole community of seafood out there just beyond my thing. There are some fund managers I talk to. I have access to big institutions and what the way they think about. And this is something that, when I do company visit too, I do ask some of the members, what kind of questions that we're doing. Well, someone did ask me, when am I going to go back to visiting companies? Like the previously I visited the Notion VTech, and now it's just that now it's COVID-19. They don't welcome you. They say don't come. And Zoom is not definitely a way they wanted to do. All right. So this is the condition that I am, and I did ask. I'd like to go back and start doing the market visit and really to help you guys. All right, thanks a lot. All right, okay. Now, just now, Zach already shared with you some of the winning trades. Of course, also even look back at last week winner. You can find some to look at the KLCI, how much it went, 6%. Care Plus, that one's gone up. XOX, M-Bank, Great Tech. But let me just go down to the screener. Okay, this is one of the screener that we talk about. NS is just usually used many of our members because of a low risk and high reward. Now here is just like M1. You can see there was an entry using the trending stock on 21st of February in here. But if you have used the green pentagon, you've got gone on much easier, especially those of you who are using the SMARTRobie apps. Okay, the green pentagon list is inside there. Remember last week Inari, that one really moved up. Okay, so you can see here just a $5,000 trade. We don't recommend high for some of you who have a small account, 5K, and you are able to get 3,500. Of course, our no supply screener, which Zach just showed you, that one is really one of the big low risk, high return in here too. Here's another one, which is Euro. You could see entering on 18, which comes out on the trending stock. But of course, if you have gone in using the green pentagon somewhere back in January before the post MCO, a potential of 450% at $22,000 just from $5,000 trade. That's why we always talk about having the tool, having the coach, having the system, someone that you can turn to, someone that can help you like Zach, Arif, and myself to handhold you, to support you. Right now, no matter where you are, which is fine, we can be there to support you. I think that's very important. I think one of the things that a lot of people do, the mistakes they make, they don't have a proper plan to get educated. Now, I'm going to ask this question. What did you do during your COVID-19? Right? Did you watch more Korean movies? Or you stayed at home, couldn't do much, or you stock up on toilet paper and food and medicine you don't need. So this is the thing that we talk about. I think we shared this early on, and then many of you would have agreed you all have learned a new skill because work from home. Maybe some of you learn how to bake. Maybe some learn how to cook. Maybe some of you are a better person now I hope better person don't go arguing with your children or arguing with your spouse, isn't it? And I think that's all we try to do, is try to recognize there's a situation from it. But from the context of having a second skill, right? Having a second skill, we definitely want you to learn investing and trading. Make no mistakes. We are not asking you to join our program or whatever. There are many free programs out there. There are many Sifu in Facebook. Follow them, but make sure you get the proper guidance. I think that's very important, where you can ask the question and see whether he is there to support you. I suppose in the TradeVSA community, we take pride in what we do, and we really want to help you guys out there, and through our Telegram. And Zach was just seeing someone on Friday came over to our office in Patlang Jaya to help him up to set up his TradingView terminal. And those are things that we can do and will do with the Zoom. Now, if you look back in the past, we have a lot of workshop. So here we support you. That's a picture of Zach doing the weekly training. I think he's doing one on Monday for all our members. For some of you who are really interested in our program, maybe you want to consider it. So more important, we're coming back to the summary and towards the end of our talk, which I promise you 1.5 hours. We have this bull market on the left-hand side, where we came from in February 2020, overconfidence, which we saw Donald Trump, and then he panicked and he feared. Right now, it's about hope and repair, hope and relief. Very important. So this is where you will see the greatest opportunity, the greatest opportunity and the gain right now, just below in here. No doubt, there's a lot of pain. I understand that the pain that you have with the post-COVID-19, some of you wanted to learn this new skill. And the program we always talk about is a 12-month program. Some of you who wants to know. So we have added a new topic after discussion with Zach and my member in here. We always try to reinvent ourselves. We always try to make ourselves value for money. And that's why we have a new topic for this masterclass 2020, June 13 and 15, which is next weekend. I know some of you in here, but we are doing it on Zoom. And the new topic will be US market. That's right. We're doing the US market trading strategies, and some of the shares we talk about, of course, for my Malay friends, will be Sharia compliance, right? All right. Sharia compliance. So that's why you can trade. And on the 17th June, on our live trading session, we start about 9:30 to 11:30. We will trade the US market, right? So this is where we're going to talk about the US market, but the strategy we will talk about on 13, 14, and 15. So this is almost like a 3-day masterclass. And the best thing, you can read it 10 days back. So what we want to feel that the people who have invested earlier, their time, their money, especially during the COVID-19, they have benefited that. So some of you may are considering this, and if you have time, do take a look at this. Our program is a 12-month program, and you can re-attend back at no extra cost, which means right now you attend in June. Until June 2021, you re-attend no cost at all. All right. So this is one of the. So again, the best solution. What's the best solution to learning? All these Japanese candlesticks and VSA. Is it Tiger Woods? All right. I always admire Tiger Woods, and I have a copy here of Tiger Woods. It's about training a tiger. This is a picture. If you flick behind, I'm sure you can't see. It's a picture of Tiger Woods on his little helper chair, and he was playing golf in here. And a lot of things I learned from as a golfer. I learned what Tiger Woods did when he won. What he had was he had a father and a loving coach. And he simply says inside here, the lesson that Earl Wood has to teach, that is his father, right? Life will make a difference in every parent and child relationship. Whether you're looking to teach your kids golf or any sports, Tiger first coach, which is Earl Woods, the father, he passed away since then, right? Will understand what's important. I think this is where, we want to be that difference. We want to be, that Sifu for you, just like Tom and Bill were mine to me, and some of my fundamental Sifu, Mr. Pong, and also Ang, right? So we want to share this knowledge also with you, right? Don't follow the herbs out there. I'm sure there are a lot of Sifu who will take you and teach you all this, right? But what we want to teach you is the knowledge. And this is the lesson we talk about. Jesse Stein behind me and Tiger Woods in here too. So get a winning system, have a coach, right? If you don't want to use this as a coach, no problem, but have some coach out there, maybe your parents or a friend or one of the analysts or who is good. And that's the whole lesson we talk here, right? And if not, just use Robbie. Robbie is free, right? You don't have to pay anything at all. All the charts are in there, right? And all you gotta do is just share that apps to your friends, and you get free credit, which means you can share and continue to use the whole day. But if you don't want to share, you can just top up. So that's a lot of benefits in here. And don't forget the bahasa version. Semua keperluan pelabur KLSC dalam satu aplikasi, gabungan analysis, technical, fundamental, dan sentiment dalam satu apps. So that's the Malay version, July 2020. So for our Malay friends, definitely that is something for you. Again, free of charge. Just download it. So we're just going to let you know, right? The release date will be on July 2020. This is some good Facebook review. Now, those of you who have used SMARTRobie in here, really appreciate if you can go in and go over to fb.com at SMARTRobie and give us a good feedback, so we'll continue to improve ourselves. All right. So again, post-COVID-19 salary cut. Are you going to be very shocked about this? Right? Okay. Well, don't be. Talk about COVID-19, pay cut loss. We're going to show you all that. There was a question in here, how to explain how to use premium alert trending from Pentagon. Yeah, sure, but not today. We will do it at another session too. Go over to FAQ. Okay, those of you using the Robie, go to FAQ. There is a video tutorial on the top line. Watch that video tutorial. It's a bit on our earlier version Telegram, but pretty much the same. It will give you all the entries and things like that. All right, for those of you who just feel that I don't want to get involved in this whole coaching thing, I'm okay with the SMARTRobie, go ahead and do that one, right? But very important going forward is that our coach, you saw Arif willing to share about Japanese Candlestick Marina and a full Zach in here. We are here, right? In here. And you could see with the FCPO going up, we also trade futures, because the futures was a very good way to make short-term profit, 500 ringgit profit in one day, right? And then we have another one here, many session, many up, okay? And another 300 ringgit, because the market is going very hot. We have seen FCPO, what's the market is doing now, because the Indonesian market may not. There's opportunity in the futures market. There's opportunity on the KLC market with the NS screener. We just show with you. And some of you who wanted to trade like the Forex, you can also use the volume spread analysis, no doubt. But our coaches are trading this product and we are already profitable. We want to share you how to, right? Then, of course, that's an invitation to join our TradeVSA Telegram community channel. It's totally free. You can join that. This was the pre-COVID-19. So going forward, all our coaching, mentoring, member session will be done towards the TradeVSA Zoom virtual meeting. This is, how the new world is going to be. So no more excuses, whether you're in Sabah, Sarawak, Selangor, Johor, Penang, Kedah, wherever you are. Even in Australia, some of you are listening up, we can still connect and learn from each other. I think that's one of the post-COVID-19 in here, okay? So taking some of you who are ready to take to the next level, we really want to open up the registration for you for our 3-day masterclass, which is a Zoom meeting. And this round, remember, we have the US market. So it's a free re-attendant, June 13 to 15. Everything will be on Zoom. 17 will be evening session in here. That's a number you can call, 010-266-9761. And Zach will be there ready to take your phone calls and go to some of them. Of course, we will have a special pricing for you. Just WhatsApp to this number here, and it's really to give you a very special discount price for it. We're not going to go through all the pricing here because we really don't want to hard sell, but we do think that if you are suitable for us, you've been following us all this while in our content will be there to really to help you. The US market, the futures, the Malaysian is where our specialty is, where Zach will take you through every night, 9:30 on our live Facebooks. Okay, so that's all we have. All right, registration now is open for masterclass 3-day Zoom course, June 13 to 15 and 17, right? So that's very the message I want to leave in. So all in all, I think many of you would have a good time, getting some important information and the overall aspect about VSA and what we can do to help you to move from no knowledge at all to becoming a beginner and a more experienced, what we call advanced beginner. All right. So now what we're going to do, we're going to take some questions from some of you that you have, and probably that's how we're going to If you have any question, I will look at it. You guys share the recording, right? What recording? Are you talking about this recording? This recording, just go over to live Facebook, or you can watch it on YouTube. For our session, okay, how to join your Telegram, Martin? The Telegram will be, I'll just give you this here, .me/TradeVSA Trading Ideas. Yes. Okay, I think you can get through that one. Okay. Good. Okay, some of you are listening for the first time. So any question that you have, we'll cover the CPOs also in our masterclass. Okay, there was Kamal. Will we cover FCPO? Yes, Arif is one of our coaches for FCPO in there. Okay, I also trade FCPO too. Okay, any more questions? Right. You have any question for Arif and Zach? They were going to come in and help you to answer. All in all, we are always on live Facebook, right? We seems to have this time to share and give knowledge willingly to all of you, because there's no secret, right? We learn from the best, like these guys. Okay, we learn from the best from Phil Preston. We filter out, we built it, right? We coach through it, we handhold you, we guide you for the next 12 months. That's what we do. All right. Okay, no problem, Roger. Thank you. We appreciate your time, ladies and gentlemen. All right. All this will be recorded and you can always watch it in there. All right. Any coaching on KLCI futures, Steve? KL futures, we do have. Fu does trade this, but we find that KLCI is a longer time frame. We rather trade the shorter time frame. The answer is yes. Okay. Steve is one of our lifetime member. Okay. Any more questions? Okay, if there's no more questions, Zach, Arif, can you come back in again? We want to say thank you very much for their time that well spent the last 2 hours that we have, and we really thank you for your time and hope the information that we presented to you will help you to get into the right, especially US market, right? Okay, so Arif, let's say goodbye to all our audience here. Zach too, okay?
Okay, right. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Hope you learned something. And definitely, yes, trading is not only about having one knowledge or one skill that you learn. It's always you learn from other people, then you get the ideas from there, and then you see which one is the best that suits your trading style, and you go for it. Like you see, like Zach, he has his the VSA has helped him a lot. Then he has found his trading style from there. He just go ahead with that. All right. In terms of talking about stocks like Fu, he has his trading style, which is a pullback pattern. So it's something like a method that works for him, and just go on with it. It's just like cooking. You just find that whichever the thing that is the garam cukup rasa, the asam is there. The lauk is the one that you like. As long as it suits your style, your taste buds, yeah, just go for it. Yeah.
Okay. Zach, you're going to have some parting words. Now for Zach, any queries you guys are interested on our masterclass, which is next weekend. So next weekend, we won't be doing any more talk because we'll be doing with those of you who are ready for our masterclass. We'll try to come back to you with a very good presentation and information that you could use. All right, Zach, just say the parting words, Zach.
Okay. Well, thanks for your time today. I think we get a few, especially like new followers here. Nothing much actually. Just that I would like to say that hopefully our live Facebook or our webinar, live webinar on Facebook here to helps our these followers or friends in Facebook. And for new members, again, if you've got any questions, just post it to the telegrams or just ask us in the members group so that we can help you out and let's profit together in this bull markets.
Okay, so that's all, people. Thank you for coming, and I'll see you. Those of you who are interested, I'll see you guys next Saturday, June 13 to 15, where we will do our real course and including our new topic for our new members. Those of you who are existing members, please come back and re-attend. We have the US market this round because I'm going to share with you some of the shares that I personally have, and some of those you're going to get on to go for the next market. Of course, some of these will be US Sharia compliance by the US standards. Okay, so with that, I'll see you guys. That's all right. Zach, you can end up the session here. I'm leaving now. right?
Okay.
Those of you who want to ask Zach about the pricing, Zach, you can stay on, right? So I'm going to leave
Correct,
you in the
can.
parting words. So have fun. Next week, make money. Okay?
Okay, thank you, Martin and Alif. So for those that probably some of you are interested to know more about masterclass, probably you can ask me. I think there's one questions by Kamal, right? Okay, so probably just want to show you this page, Kamal, in case that if you are interested. So you can actually check this out. This is the things that we will cover. Okay, we will cover in the live in the upcoming masterclass. Okay, just go to TradeVSA.com. We do have this plan and pricing. So of course for the masterclass currently we have for this package we have special price. You can check out with me later on. So this is the contents that we're going to cover. Okay, we're going to cover VSA, portfolio and risk management, income cash methods, a pullback method which is very important for us, and then the futures market and stock markets. Okay, so this is the things that we're going to go into for the 3-day masterclass. Of course, for Monday and Wednesday, we will do live training okay, to show you some of the skill strategy you can apply directly on the charts. Okay, so hopefully I answer your questions. Okay, so if there's no other questions, we will close for these sessions. Okay, thank you for your time and happy weekends.